525,600 minutes. 525,000 moments, oh dear. 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? In daylight, in sunsets, in midnights, in cups of coffee, in inches, in miles, and laughter, and strife, in 525. Okay, so I'm in a very singy mood today. We will see how this goes, how many takes I have to do. I am in a very singing mood today. I'm in a very good mood today. The sun is shining, birds are singing. I'm just happy. I am just happy. Um, Today's message, today's video. Today I'd like to talk about friendship and whether your friends are really happy for you. So I don't know if this is a normal thing. I'm pretty sure it is. We've all been told when we were younger, friendships, people come into your life for seasons, or some people say people come into your life for a chapter. And even though we hear this when we're young to prepare us, I don't know, sometimes I feel like it don't stick, like we don't remember it. And we come into contact with so many different souls on this planet. And at least personally, I feel like I've lived for a very long time thinking that you were supposed to hold on to these souls as hard as you can, even if it hurts you. And very recently, like for the past 2 years, I've been learning that this whole seasons thing actually has some validity to it. And sometimes people, they are not on the same journey as you. And I think it's very important to identify that and figure out, whether action needs to be taken or if it's just something you need to be aware of. A lot of times when we like to grow or when we are growing, that's when we see the biggest differences between ourselves and the people around us. Because some people are going to be happy for our growth, and some people are going to encourage and support us and, be our cheerleaders. And then other people, they're not going to be as happy for us, but unfortunately, they're not going to sit us down and be like, I'm not happy for your growth, because they won't even admit that to themselves. So that's when it gets complicated and you have these people in your life who aren't happy for you, and it starts to come out in different ways that you start to psychoanalyze, that you start to be hurt by. And at the end of the day, it's just because they're not on the same wavelength. So I'm not saying that having friends who aren't growing or having friends who aren't on the same path as you, that means you should get rid of those friends. That's not what I'm saying at all. Our friends are all very individual, very unique, and all serve their own purpose within our lives, But if you have friends who are passing negative energy your way because they're not happy for you, that's kind of different, because it kind of takes a toll on you. It takes a toll on you and your mentality. Interestingly enough, these people become super easy to identify, either the quicker you're growing or how far along you get in your growth. Because when someone's not happy with you or when someone's not growing with you, it starts it starts very small. Like, you don't really notice that the person isn't on the same, isn't parallel to your goal. And it starts off very small, not a big deal, but through the person's actions, their words, it becomes harder to connect with that person. And I think it's very important to know your role. We can't We can't spend our lives trying to change people. We can't spend our lives trying to convince people that they should be happy for us. We can't spend our lives trying to convince people that they should be happy for themselves. But what we can do is either distance ourselves or completely subtract a person out of the equation. I think it needs to be kind of drastic to subtract a person out of the equation. Like, they really have to show you some funky colors for you to be like, I can't, not in this lifetime. But if it's just a person who is figuring their own life out and like they have their own stuff going on and that comes through their actions, but you can just see that they're just not where you are, but they're still a good person, there's no reason to kick that person out of your life. But you do have to distance yourself. You have to, because I just feel like people can be distractions and people can hold you back. Even if they are happy for you, if they don't want the same things that you want, it just gets really difficult. It gets really difficult to hang on to friendships that, for example, motivation, where motivation to succeed in life is a little bit different. Those friendships can be kind of difficult when, you know, you want to talk about all the things going on in your, like, let's say your career and your business, and your friend isn't excited about growth or isn't excited about, you know, anything that would excite you because she doesn't relate to it. So I'm not saying that these friendships are hard to maintain because the people are bad people. I'm saying that friendships are hard to maintain because it gets harder and harder to connect. And you can't spend your whole life trying to reconnect with people because that's kind of holding you back. Last week I talked a lot about moving forward. And I think it's really important that we learn who we need to have immediately in our lives, who we need to have like in our lives but kind of distant, and who we don't need in our lives at all. Because if we are constantly trying to juggle everybody and everyone's not fighting for us as hard as we're fighting for them, you know, they're taking up space for people that we can meet, people who can come into our lives in the future and change us and show us beautiful things about life that we don't know yet because we've never experienced them. So I feel like it's just very important to understand your relationships, understand how you connect with people, and whether, you know, them being in your life is for your emotional benefit or if you're doing it more for them. Because you have to make sure you're good first. And your friends are supposed to make you feel good. And I feel like a lot of times we forget that, but no, your friends are supposed to make you feel good. Maybe not all the time. Maybe sometimes, you know, we make mistakes and we need a friend to call us out and be like, look, that whole thing you did, we got to talk about it. We got to work through that. But the majority of the time, your friends are supposed to be there for you and make you feel good. You should never be afraid of your friends. You should never be scared of their judgment, scared of their opinions, scared of how they'll treat you. Those don't fall under like the friendship category. It's not how friendship's supposed to be. So I'd also like to say, oh God, I'm already on 9 minutes, damn it. I just also like to say that I'm very happy and thankful for my friends because they have helped me become the person that I am today. And I'm just really thankful that they stuck it out with me, you know, because college is interesting. So yes, if your friends aren't happy for you, you gotta move on, you gotta flourish, and find friends who are happy for you, because friendship's really important. I love my family. My family is the bee's knees, but oftentimes family, you know, a lot of times you're from the same financial background, you know, geographical background, you're from the same area of life. So friends are these people who like you connect with, but also can show you life through different eyes, you know? So friendship is very, very, very important. So don't waste your time with a friend who makes you feel bad, because it's not necessary and you don't deserve it. So that's all I got for today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.